Thank you, Anna. And the pleasure and honor is mine to be here. And I'm very pleased to be in Colombia. And I will, for those of you who are not here in Colombia yet, I will strongly encourage you to come to the conference in Cartagena in August. This is really a great place, great people, great food. And I'm sure we are going to have a great discussion this week at the conference. So let me share my screen. So thank you for Anna Maria and Roland for inviting me, and so thanks to the AFPCNT and to IDRIM for organizing these series of seminars. And since obviously the focus is on networks and network of networks, I thought it will be maybe of interest to the audience if were to present something about the NHERI network and specifically to DesignSafe. So I'm going to start with, let me see first if I can advance these. How do I advance the slides? Okay, there we are. So I guess it was sleeping. So we just wake up the computer. So welcome, Dangan Sintanse. So we have some live audience which is just coming in. So so I will start by briefly speaking about NHERI. So NHERI is the Natural Hazard Engineering Research Infrastructure, and it's a network of laboratory facilities throughout the US which are dedicated to natural hazards. So we have the Wall of Winds, for example, one of the second largest wind tunnel in the world. We have facilities to simulate the storm surge, to simulate the shaking tables, to simulate earthquakes, and so on. And we have also a facility, the RAPID facility, which is a facility which is dedicated to developing and providing instrumentations for deployment to collect data during and after natural disasters. And then we have the Converse facility, which is more focused on the social aspect of natural hazards, catastrophes. And we have also a SIM center, a simulation center, which is dedicated to developing simulation tools for advancing the science of natural hazard engineering. And at the center of all this network is DesignSafe, which is basically a cyber infrastructure where all the data generated by the researchers and the users of these different facilities will deposit their, will store their data, but not only store their data, but it's also the place in the cloud where they will work on the data, where they will do all kinds of analysis and so on, using all kinds of computer resources that DesignSafe provides to its users. So that's going to be the focus of my talk, DesignSafe. By the way, if you have questions at any point, feel free to ask. And I think also that Silvana, correct me if I'm wrong, but users can, attendees can post questions in the chat. Okay, so and then we'll go through the questions at the end. Okay, so when so the DesignSafe resides at this URL, which you have here, www.designsafe-ci.org, and the main working areas, so to speak, of DesignSafe are going to be these. You're going to have the data depot where all the data resides. You're going to have the tools and application area where you're going to have all the tools that you are going to use to process the data. We're going to have a reconnaissance portal, which is a subsection of the data depot, but specifically for reconnaissance data from past hazards. We are going to have a session on the simulation tools developed by the Sim Center, and then some user guides resources. So let me go briefly within the time limit that we have here through all these capabilities. And let's start first about the, why are we doing all that? What's the philosophy behind DesignSafe? And the philosophy behind DesignSafe is that we want to accompany the researcher from start to finish in the research workflow. So we want to provide a platform where researchers could publish their data sets, could meet and network with people, could, by publishing their data, make the data available to the world at large, and if possible, reuse data from other research efforts, and be able to process, analyze, do all kinds of manipulations with this data with a series of tools and applications that are going to be available to the users in the cloud, so that you don't have to download and upload again data sets, etc. You can do all your work directly in the cloud. And of course, a key part for that to happen is that we need to curate the data so that it's clearly available and it makes sense to possible users. So since this seminar is oriented toward a wide audience, and some of you might be anywhere in the world, I guess that one of the questions that you might ask yourself is, can I use these resources if I'm not in the US, right? And the answer is yes. The DesignSafe is open to anyone in the world with a few exceptions. And the focus of DesignSafe is on research, but it's also open to practitioners. So again, the motto of the platform, so to speak, is to be open, to provide an open platform that people can use basically free of charge, so to speak. And even some of the resources that are available for free, like high performance computing in the US, might be available for under certain conditions for to other users. So when you log on to the platform, and I could do it live on the platform, I was kind of worried that maybe we would have a bad internet connection and so on. So I'd rather go through some slides first, and then if we have time at the end, we might dive a little bit live into the platform. But when you go to the website of the platform, and some of you might want to do it while I'm speaking, so you will, you can either log in with your account, and if you don't have an account, it will take you 2 minutes to generate an account, and then to log in and have access to the resources here. And so you're going to have a main tab here, Use DesignSafe. And when you go there, you're going to access the data depot. And the data depot, again, the focus is on data, and data can be first your data, where only you might have access to the data. And then you can create projects that you can share with as many people as you want. And in these projects, that's where you are going to be working with your teams, which could be all over the world, on specific projects on some that related, of course, to natural hazards. And when your projects are finished, you are going to go public by publishing the data. So as a user, you will have access to your data, the data from your projects, and anyone in the world, without even needing an account, we have access to the published data. So in other words, we go from private to public. That's the goal of the platform. And typically, when you go to some published project, what is going to look like this. You are going to have, each project is going to assign a number, you're going to have a title and so on. So for example, here we're looking at an experimental project. And by curation, we mean that before you can publish, right, you have to curate the data. And that means that you have to provide metadata, data about the data, so that the data can be organized in a meaningful way so that the user can make sense of it, right? And then when you publish, you are going to be assigned a digital object identifier, or DOI, which is going to be unique to this project, to this set of data. Okay, and so it's basically like publishing a paper, so to speak. And so every published project will have a citation, which here is an example, that you can then use to cite the data. If you reuse the data, or if you publish a paper about the data, then you can cite the data like you will cite the paper. So again, at the heart of all that is the curation. And so to help with the curation, we've developed several data models related to either experimental data, simulation data, or hybrid simulations, field research for reconnaissance. And if your data doesn't fit any of these characterizations, then you can use the other project, which is basically for anything that doesn't fit into the other model. So the idea here is that you have complete freedom. So nobody is policing, or nobody is telling you what to do or how to do it on DesignSafe, okay? But with freedom comes responsibility. If you want your data to have any impact, then you have to make sure that it's curated so that people can make sense of it, right? And so again, here's another example of a curated data set. This will be for reconnaissance data, for field research data. And so, for example, in the field research data model, you organize your data into missions. So, for example, this is a project about Hurricane Michael in Florida. And so there is several missions, and each mission has several data collections. And within these data collections, we have different aspect of data that were collected. So the data is organized in a meaningful way. So there is help available for curation through different ways. There are user guides. You can talk to our curators through virtual office hours. So you can talk in person virtually with people that might help you. And there is resources on YouTube also that help with curation. What am I doing with that? Okay. So, and the idea is, right, that you make your data count, right? And our philosophy is that data needs to be shared. And it's a win-win situation. We want the researcher, the generator of the data, to get credit to the data that they generate. So that's the push toward having a DOI and so on, so that people can reuse your data but give you the proper credit for that. And then we want to increase the impact of whatever data that we generate as researchers, so that the community at large can reuse the data. And you can see here in this table how the amount of data we use has been increasing over the years since we created DesignSafe. It's very hard also to really track, to get hard statistics about that data we use, but as far as we can see, there is certainly a big increase in data reuse, and thanks to, in a large part, to the effort of DesignSafe. So these are some examples. And basically, the idea here is to change the way we, the paradigm, right, of research. It used to be that we generate data, we analyze the data, then we publish the paper or report, and then it stays there, right, on a shelf somewhere, and that's the end of it. So now, right, we're going to, in addition to publish the result of the research in a paper or report, we're going to publish the data itself, and people are going to have access to the data. And a lot of researchers are going to do that, and then people are going to come and generate new data, and this new data is going to be linked to existing data, and there is going to be analysis of these reused data, and we're going to generate new published data and so on. So we are going to generate a galaxy, right, of research project, which is going to increase the impact that our data has for the benefit of science and research. Okay. So a few words about a special kind of data, which is reconnaissance data. And so for that, we have a special area in DesignSafe, which is the reconnaissance portal. And the reconnaissance portal is basically a section of the data depot where all the data related to current and past event, natural catastrophes, is stored. So you see here on this map, these are each of these blue arrows, so to speak, shows an event for which there is data stored on the data on DesignSafe, right? And so when you enter, you're going to have a list here. You can search per event. And so, for example, here, let's say that you're looking for some data about Hurricane Michael, right? I'm from Florida, so obviously I'm biased toward the hurricanes and Florida. I'm a wind engineer from Florida, right? So, you will go and get to Hurricane Michael, and you can see here that you have all kinds of data available and data sets that are, again, published, free, available for you to look at, reuse, do whatever you want with them, okay? And so here is an example of such a data set. These data sets are going to be curated, again, and we have also tools, and I'm going to talk a little bit in a few minutes about the tools that we have, but tools that allow you to also look at the data in through some mapping and photographies and graphical representation and so on to help you make sense of the data. Interesting things also that I might mention is that if you remember, I told you at the beginning that one of the facilities that we have in the NHERI network is the RAPID facility, this facility that basically has all these equipment that when there is a natural event, they will land and make this equipment available to researchers that want to go in the field to investigate. And so in addition to that, they've developed an app that facilitates the researchers that are there in the field, that facilitate the collection of data. And DesignSafe is integrated with that app, or rather we say the app is integrated with DesignSafe, so that as you do your reconnaissance, the data is almost in real time, can be uploaded to DesignSafe, and other people can then have access to that data. Okay, so these are just screenshots of the screen in the app, and this app can be installed on a tablet or even your phone. And then in the end, you're going to, it's going to accelerate, right, the way that the data is not only collected, but made available, processed, and finally published. So here again are some other examples of the capabilities. So that brings me to the tools, right? So what do we do with the data? So again, DesignSafe is not just data repository. It's a platform that allows you to do basically whatever you want with the data. So we have a series of software available, right, in different areas for simulation, visualization, analysis, etc. We provide to the users of DesignSafe, we provide access to HPC, to high performance computing, because the platform resides at TAC, which is the Texas Advanced Computing Center in Austin, Texas. And so you can access all these resources in different ways. And these are some of the examples of the tools that you might find. So I was just talking about how you can use visualization tools to make sense of the reconnaissance data. And so here you have the list of all the tools that we have for visualizations. And another big item that we have that we promote a lot is Jupyter Notebooks. So Jupyter Notebooks are electronic notebooks where you can write code in Python or R, and the Jupyter Hub in DesignSafe gives you access to any data in the data depot file. So in other words, when you create your notebooks, you create the script, your script can access the files directly in the depot. You can create interactive notebooks, and for all sort of data processing tasks, for AI or machine learnings. And then, of course, as usual, the aim is that you publish the notebooks, and these notebooks then can be also used by others and can be modified by others, and maybe can be used for other uses for which they were not even intended at the beginning. So again, the aim is to accelerate the pace of research. And so to facilitate also the use of the notebooks, we have we provide use cases, and use cases are notebooks, Jupyter notebooks in different areas of hazard engineering, so wind, earthquake, storm surge, etc., to give you examples, to give to the users of the platform examples of what they can do in these different areas, and maybe take these use books and transform them and take them to another level. And so, again, there is a lot of resources available to help you navigate the platform, to help you understand the different aspects and so on. We have constantly training seminars. We have resources available on YouTube, etc., etc. And again, our motto is we're here for you, and feel free to contact us, anyone in the team at any time, including myself. When you join DesignSafe, you have access also to the Slack communication channel, which is a very nice way to interact with the community. And usually, in the Slack channel, people can create communities about basically any topic related not only to DesignSafe, but any area of natural engineering. And so that's how the communities, the networks happen, and people can interact and so on. So I think that's the end of my thing. So do I have still a few minutes? Okay, because I was just going to show you where live where the platform is, but that's fine. So basically that's it. So I don't know if we go with questions now or later.
Jean-Paul, thank you very much.